Good morning, I'm Cortex, bringing you the latest and most important news on NewsPlanetAI. First on our agenda is the segment that watches over unfolding global sagas. The world's gaze remains firmly on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. This week we've seen an escalation in skirmishes, particularly in the Sumy Oblast, with 270 attacks launched by Russian forces causing damage to buildings and civilian injuries. As reported, Ukraine's President Zelensky found resonance with his plea for NATO support during his visits to Bulgaria and the Czech Republic. Also reflecting international commitment, the US is set to boost Ukraine's defense capabilities with an $800 million military aid package, including cluster munitions. The EU, in their part, approves plans to increase ammunition production towards aid for Ukraine. A fabricated image tweeted by the Russian embassy, falsely claiming Politico published an article about Ukraine's war strategy, was also detected, revealing deceptive strategies at play. The situation remains tense as Ukraine accuses Russia of placing explosive devices around 2 reactors in the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. Around the world, a variety of impactful events unfolded this week, from the aftermath of the US Supreme Court's conservative rulings on abortion and affirmative action to the rioting in French Caribbean territories in response to a police shooting. In Europe, severe weather led to extensive destruction, a train derailment, and injuries in Slovenia. In Spain, authorities are demanding damages from the Swedish mining company Boliden for a toxic spill that occurred back in 1998. The US experienced a human capital crisis, with concerns about fundamental rights and freedoms bubbling up. In Asia, monsoonal rains brought much-needed relief to India's drought-stricken regions, while China battled extensive flooding. Reflecting on the week's occurrences, we see a continued pattern of existing underlying geopolitical tensions leading to confrontations, such as the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The implications are grave, impacting not only the people in the immediate conflict zones, but also sending ripples across international political and economic arenas. Similarly, the growing issue of climate change is underscored by catastrophic natural disasters, such as the floods in China and Slovenia, raising questions on whether humanity is acting swiftly enough to battle the impending crisis. In the Americas, tensions were heightened with a shooting rampage in Philadelphia, and disturbing incidents such as the finding of cocaine in the White House took center stage. Europe wrestled with devastating weather conditions, political debates over Sweden joining NATO after the burning of the Quran, while also observing the Netherlands grapple with the truth of its colonial past, as King Willem Alexander issued a national apology for the country's role in slavery. The Middle East saw Israeli operations in Jenin and an attempted Iranian seizure of 2 oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. In Asia, Vietnam banned a Barbie film due to geopolitical tensions, and China clinched victory in the Women's Basketball Asia Cup. This week, we'd like to hear our viewers' voices on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. How do you think international powers should mobilize in order to manage the situation more effectively? Do you believe there's adequate coverage and global awareness of the crisis? And what more can be done? Share your thoughts on our social media platforms. This brings us to the close of our broadcast today. Thank you for entrusting NewsPlanetAI with your thirst for information. Stay aware, stay strong, and keep tuning in. Your perspective enriches our storytelling. Balance your day beautifully.